There was probably an experience or an event or an instance in your life which we can call a peak experience. Probably that experience when you had your first kiss. Probably seminarians when they had their first kiss before they entered, of course, the seminary. Not certainly inside the seminary. And probably for some of you, when you obtain the yes from your husband or from your wife, and probably that experience when you got married and when you had your first child, or probably it was an experience when you broke up. Probably that experience was when you listened to a very good homily, or when you attended a retreat or a recollection. But you will all agree with me that each of you has had a peak experience. But the peak experience, my dear brothers and sisters, may not be a glorious event. Because a peak experience may also be a life-threatening experience. When you were diagnosed with a cancer, it was your peak experience. When you had your greatest disappointment or tragedy in your family, that was also your peak experience. In other words, our peak experience may not be necessarily good. It may not be necessarily a glorious moment, a glorious event. But peak experiences change us. Peak experiences transform us. For me, I had two peak experiences. One, when I got sick at UST, when I was studying there. And second, of course, when I got ordained in 2001. These two peak experiences of mine changed me a lot. Why am I telling you about peak experiences? Because there was an event, a moment in Jesus' life which he had a peak experience. Not for himself, but for his apostles, for his disciples, when he was transfigured before Peter, James, and John. Jesus gave a preview of his glory. For what purpose? Because he was strengthening them. He was strengthening the hope of his apostles, of his disciples. If you're reading the scriptures, if you're reading the Bible, the transfiguration of Jesus happened after his prediction of his death, of his passion and death. Pagkatapos niya po pagtugdo, pigsabihan niya ang mga apostoles, mga disipulos na siya magagadan, magtitios magagadan. Then he invited 3 of his apostles, and lo and behold, he was transfigured before them. Meaning to say, he was teaching them a lesson that Jesus had to suffer and die, but on the 3rd day he will be raised again. He will resurrect again. And what lesson can we draw from the transfiguration of Jesus? That we have to fix our eyes on the resurrection. But before we get there, we have to pass through the cross. No gain, no pain. We cannot gain anything without pain. There is no resurrection without Good Friday. We have to remember that Jesus there on the cross did not stay on the cross. Because at the back, behind that cross, is the promise of the resurrection. In fact, my dear brothers and sisters, what we are celebrating this morning, this Sunday, is not the dead Jesus. What we are celebrating today is the resurrection of Christ. That is why we are doing it on a Sunday after Sunday, because we are celebrating the resurrection, new life. Minsan po, pag hunata, our life ends with difficulty, with problems. Sometimes when we are diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, sometimes we want to give up. This is it. No. We have to look beyond that pain. We have to look beyond that problem. We have to look beyond that difficulty. Because life does not end with the cross. Life that does not end with pain. Life does not end with problems. There is always a promise of glory. And you have to believe that. We have to believe that. The season of Lent is a period for us to remember the memory of the resurrection of Jesus. In fact, the season of Lent is a preparation for us. For what? For Easter. And this is also about life. This is also about our life. After the Mass, after this Mass, I'm not going to tell you to stay. Because after the Mass, I'm going to tell you, go. Go in peace. I'm not going to tell you, we have experienced Jesus here. It is good for us to stay here. No. Go. Face your problems. Carry your crosses. Because God is with us. Go because God is with you. Go because you have received Jesus. Jesus will not take away your difficulty, will not take away your problems, but you can carry them because God is with us. So after the Mass, go.